Welcome to my new living room. I recently put the finishing touches to the space, which included painting the last of the woodwork, finalising the lighting design, and getting those last pieces of furniture in place. Today I'm going to talk about some of my design choices and how I styled the space to bring it from cold and derelict to warm and cosy. And if you stick around until the end, I'll show you what the room looks like in the evening. With the candles burning and the lights dimmed softly, it really helps to showcase the tranquil and restorative atmosphere that I'm going for. But first, if you're new here, my name is Duncan, and after 13 years living in London, I recently gave up city life for the peaceful surrounds of a small English town. But for now, let's get back to the living room, and the first thing I want to talk about is the colour. The paint I used is called Pan from a brand called Coat. The colour is sort of muted, mossy, foresty green. I didn't want anything too vibrant, and I colour drenched the entire space, so painted the ceilings and the archway, the cornicing, and even the back of the door, and all the woodwork, so the skirting boards and windowsills. The windows, unfortunately, are white UPVC, so nobody's favourite, but I have bought some PVC primer, and in the summer, when I can leave the windows open, I'm going to try a coat of paint on this small window, see how it takes it, and if all goes well, I can continue that on to the patio doors. If you ever have to paint behind a radiator, I would highly recommend one of these paint pads. I've never used one before, but they make it really quick and easy to get into those tight nooks behind a radiator. So yeah, I'm a big fan, although there were a few teething problems. Luckily that did not land on the carpet, but it might teach me to be a little bit less stingy with the plastic coverings. The first lighting project I did was to install 3 of these brass picture lights, which give a really nice focus to my artwork and are dimmable, so I can have them as kind of main lights, or in the evening I can dim them for a more ambient glow. Then in the darker corners I have a lot of lamps. This is actually an 80s childhood light up globe, which I upcycled with a new base and a smart bulb, so it is also dimmable and adds a dollop of nostalgia to the space. In the opposite corner I have this concrete sculpture which is uplit with a Himalayan salt lamp. It gives a lovely warm orange glow in the evening, and the angle of the light accentuates the details and the textures in the sculpture. The dining area took me a little bit longer to figure out. I don't know how many lampshades I ordered and then returned until I found this oversized dark brown rattan shade. I really like how some of the light filters through, but most of it is cast down into a pool of light over the dining table. The sort of Pixar style pink lamp on the far wall is adjustable, so it gives me a bit of flexibility with how I want to light the space, and I think the pink contrasts really nicely with the green. Strangely, the only ceiling fitting in the whole room is very close to the curtain rail, so I bought an extra long cord that came with a separate brass hook to create a swag light and hang the pendant directly over the dining table. And I think that makes a feature of something that could have otherwise been a problem. Opposite the dining, I have this little display area which has another wall light. I spray painted this gold because it came as clear glass, but the lighting was so harsh when it was on, I had to do something to reduce the glare and just soften the whole effect. The space is really bright in the daytime. It faces west and south, so the lighting is best appreciated in the evening, so I'll show you that a bit later. When it comes to picking furniture and accessories, I think texture is where you want to focus your energy if you're trying to create a cosy space. So for example, instead of a hard coffee table, I have this velvet footstool that doubles as a coffee table by adding a simple wooden tray on top. The most recent piece of furniture I bought was this TV stand, which is unfinished pine, and it opens and closes really simply with these two sliding screens. The slatted design not only adds an extra dimension of texture to the space, but also lets the signal from my remote control pass through, which is handy. This stool used to belong to my mum. It's her old dressing table stool, and for now I just have this sheepskin rug thrown over the top, but I did buy some upholstery fabric from a charity shop. I think it was £1 or £2. So I might try my hand at reupholstering the seating pad at some point, but for now I quite like the extra texture that the sheepskin rug gives. The side table to the left of this couch is not actually a side table at all. It is an old picnic hamper, and then on top I've got a wooden crate from some wine that I bought, which then contrasts with this distressed metal and turquoise of the plant pot. The leaves on this plant are practically black and really glossy, so it adds a bit of drama to this section of the room. And even in the darkest corner, you've got an opportunity for a little textural vignette. And of course, you can't go wrong with a couple of fluffy pillows and a cosy blanket. Under one of the picture lights, I installed these two shelves. It just lets me display some sentimental objects, but also play around with texture, like with this reflective bud vase or these dried flowers that I harvested from the garden last year. I actually bought the shelves years ago, but couldn't find a spot for them in my last home. But they work really well here, and the textured glass in particular, lit from above, casts these interesting shadows and bright spots on the wall. I've always loved houseplants, but in my previous home I didn't get much natural light. Here though, with the west and the south facing windows, they really thrive. These carnivorous plants are a new addition to my collection, just for something a little bit different. And I got a free bag of miniature daffodil bulbs with an order, and I planted most of them outside, but I thought it would be fun to put a few in a little pot and see how they do in the windowsill. I've had this plant for years and years. I love the limey green leaves against that pink pot. I also think a plant makes a really great centrepiece on a dining table and is a bit more sustainable than a bunch of flowers that you're going to have to throw out in 4 or 5 days. But having said that, I have dedicated a section of my garden to cut flowers next year, so hopefully I'll have fresh bouquets all summer. And as promised, I really wanted to show you the space in the evening. I'm a total night owl, so I'm often up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So when I'm designing a space to live in, I'm really thinking about how it will look at night time and how I can make it cocooning and relaxing. These red curtains were left over from the previous owners, and I really thought they would look awful once I'd painted the room green. I kind of had visions of it looking like Santa's grotto or something. But I think because they have this burnt orange, deep red rather than primary red, they actually work quite well. So I'll keep them for now and maybe replace them in the future. Candlelight is an almost instant way to cozy up a space. And because this window doesn't have a curtain yet, lighting a candle just warms it up immediately and takes away some of the coldness of the black glass to the outside world. I am careful to keep the candles away from the curtains, but I do like the soft twinkling glow against the red material. Makes me think of a theatre or maybe a cinema. I try to read at least a book every week. At the moment I'm reading Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And to me this is a perfect way to spend an evening. Candles on, some soft music, and a good book. I've recently changed to buying candles made with plant-based wax, just after seeing a slightly scary video about the nasties of burning paraffin wax in your home. They're a bit more expensive, but I feel like it's worth it for the improvement in air quality. But any leftover paraffin wax candles I'm happy to use outside, so maybe in the summer evenings on the patio, get some candles going and not worry about inhaling the fumes. So because I've just moved in, this is the only space I've decorated so far, but I did film a full tour of my London apartment where you can see my living room there, but also how I decorated my bedroom, laundry room and renovated my kitchen and bathroom as well. So have a look at that if you're interested to see more, and if you stick around here I'll have plenty more decorating projects soon. Bedroom next I think, then maybe the office, and then I'm going to do a DIY job on my kitchen and bathroom. Famous last words.